Welcome back to the Killer Media Podcast, your home for all things horror entertainment and movie reviews. I am Tim, this is Nick, and today we got a fun one for you.
And that was definitely the first take.
Yes. We have Zach Kreger's Barbarian to discuss. 2022, right?
Yes.
And then we're going to discuss some theories and what we can expect for his new film, Weapons. That's coming out in August.
So it's a Zach Kreger episode.
Yeah. This is dedicated to you, Zach.
Dedicated.
Hit that like button.
He died.
In memory of Zach Kreger.
Yeah, at the end, in memory.
In memorandum. So hit that like
in
button,
memento
Zach,
mori.
and follow. Yeah. No, Amori. Remember.
Oh, yeah. Amori.
Remember the dead. No, remember to love is Amori.
Yeah. I was right.
Remember you must die is...
So, memento mori, Zach Kreger.
You're going to die one day.
Yeah,
Get that through your head.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone does.
Right. So before we get into that, we're going to remind... Holy shit.
I didn't think that was going to
We're going to remind you again that we are currently running a giveaway. We're 1 week into it now. You can hold that there.
I'll do the Blues Clues.
Yeah, the Blues Clues.
Do.
So don't forget about that. By this point, I'm sure you all know where to go and all the instructions. They're on Instagram. So follow those instructions to win a exclusive 28 years later poster from AMC. There'll be 3 winners. So don't forget about that.
And it doesn't come with this.
No,
right? It's going to be rolled up.
It won't be framed. You'll get it rolled up in a tube. It's like the other one. So don't forget about that. Make sure you comment on Instagram and you follow all the rules. And while you're there, just hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Helps us a lot.
Do it.
It allows us to bring this content to you. You love the content. See it in the comments. It's great. But yeah, follow us everywhere. Hit that subscribe button and like if you enjoyed. So we're gonna jump into it. Barbarian, Zach Kreger. Now I wrote down the plot with no spoilers. I mean, do we have to? Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. But might as well do it anyway.
Yeah, the gist of it.
Yeah.
If you're first starting up the movie, you definitely don't want to be spoiled for this one.
Yeah. So definitely, there's a lot of plot twists. Like a lot.
There's a lot.
Yeah. So I'll read you a very brief plot. So basically, Barbarian is a horror thriller that begins with a woman arriving at a rental home or an Airbnb, only to find out that somebody else is already staying there. As she decides to stay the night, what initially seems like a simple misunderstanding spirals into a tense and terrifying situation. The film slowly unravels layers of mystery, shifting perspectives, and blending psychological tension with unexpected twists. It's a suspenseful story that keeps the audience guessing, exploring themes of trust, fear, and hidden dangers. It is one wild ride. You do not want to go into this knowing what happens, because everything you think is going to happen, you're playing in your mind. It does a complete 180. It's wrong.
Yeah, lots of baits and switches. Everything that I thought was true is not.
Right. So there's your spoiler-free section. We're going to jump into spoilers now. There you go. Maybe we'll do this for all movies in the future. Why not?
After this, spoilers. So
spoilers.
Click off the video if you don't want to be spoiled.
Get the hell out of here. Seen it, and then come back. We don't want you to leave and leave.
It's on Netflix, so if you have a subscription to Netflix,
watch it.
It's good.
All right, so we'll go into it. Do we want to go over we'll just go over our ratings like normal.
Yep.
All right. So we're gonna give our score in 3, 2, 1.
8.9.
7.4.
Ooh, 7.4.
7.4. Yeah, this film has some major character issues.
Major character.
Yeah, they're stupid as hell.
I'm gonna say
They're stupid.
Tess.
Major issues. Yes, she's the stupidest one.
I think towards the end. At first she was.
She's the stupidest one.
At first she was smart.
No, she was not. Nope. She should have got to the Airbnb, noticed someone was there, and left. Get the fuck out of there. Why are you staying there? Why?
She had nowhere else to go.
She could have drove somewhere. Why would you do that?
I mean, she could have maybe slept in that car, but
why? And they're having a conversation about how wrong it is that she's doing it, but she's still doing it.
Wait, what part?
When they're just chit chatting, and then you're a guy here, and I'm just supposed to stay here. Like, you know, you should leave and I should stay. You know, is one of those things. Just because it's an alone woman walking into a house where a guy's already there. Obviously, that's like in the system of Airbnbs, that's a red flag. Obviously,
It is.
but in one of the major themes of this movie is like male toxicity and stuff.
Yeah.
And like toxicity. So already you're getting major red flags. If you were, I mean, you're a guy. I don't know if that would make a difference, but if you were a woman and you went to an Airbnb and there was a guy there already, just leave. Would you not stay with this guy who you have no idea who he is?
Most likely.
Yeah. And it's acted perfectly because he's giving off major flags, right? The way he's acting, he seems off.
And that's intentional.
We
But what are her other options?
Just find somewhere else. Literally just
What
leave.
Keith said, which we now know was probably most likely true because,
I
spoilers, he's not a bad guy.
no, he's a good guy.
He said that the hotel
yeah.
was booked. Like, you're not going to probably find that like anywhere in the hotel.
Right,
Like, and that's the nearest
mean,
hotel.
You could at least try it. Sure, you might, you know, I don't know. It's weird. But she never learns her lesson. So she keeps doing this. You can tell she's not a brave woman. She's scared. You can tell. Because she's a great actor in this. So she shows genuine fear. But yet she still decides to pursue the cavern she finds. She goes down into the catacombs.
Yes.
She escapes the catacombs after she sees what's in there, goes back down there, and then later on, she gets found. She escapes again and decides to go back down again to save AJ.
She's a nice person, unfortunately. But that's her flaw.
That is her flaw.
It is.
Never gets fixed, and it's bad. You would not...
I think you should expect mostly dumb characters, especially a horror movie.
Yeah, but this was like over the top, in my opinion. It was just...
Is it any different than other horror movies that are stupid characters?
No, but this one had a different tone to where, yeah, it had like comedic aspects, but it was trying to be like serious. And it didn't work for me, that.
I don't think it was trying to be serious, especially with Justin Long's character.
That's another one of my issues. This movie's it's a bit of a mess, tonally. The first 25 to 30 minutes is like super suspenseful and serious.
Yeah.
And then it kind of jumps loose, you know, like a loose, lighthearted horror. And then it kind of stays with that. But it was weird. I don't know, that's my biggest gripe. There's no character development at all. Justin Long, AJ, he's just a douche the entire movie and doesn't get a redemption arc. He's just bad all the way through.
I think that's okay.
But Tess doesn't have an arc too. She always just goes into bad. There's a flaw that never gets corrected. And those are the only people in the film. He dies. A nothing character. You know.
Yeah, but at least we find out that he is good because he's like, okay, well, he's definitely good.
You do find out he's a good guy.
There's some little hints of like suspicious things because the movie wants you to think that possibly Keith.
Right.
At point, maybe like a hint, maybe Justin Long's character, just for like a second, only because he's the property manager.
Right.
So like, why like he doesn't know anything about like why does he even have the property? How did Frank even sell this property?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But other than that, at that point, I was like, yeah, it's not Justin Long's character. Like, it has anything, especially when he first arrived. He's just a dude.
Right. And he's even at the very end, he's like, oh, you want your baby? And just pushes her. I'm like, what are you doing? And again, dumb decision. Why would you walk up that water tower? And then when he gets to the top, he goes, there's nowhere to go. No shit. What are you doing? You knew there was nowhere to go when you climbing up on a water tower. What are you doing? I don't know. Some of the stuff was just a bit wacky that like wouldn't have happened in real life. Like a real life scenario. And again, I know it's a movie. You would walk into that house, see this catacomb, you would see the camera, blood on the wall, you just get the hell out of there. You would not risk any second to stay in there. Now, it works for Justin Long's character. All he cares about is selling the house and finding more square footage.
Yeah.
That was a funny scene. Only he could pull off a scene as wacky as that.
See, I like that. I didn't think it was too bad of a tonal shift, but I think the end was just silly.
Yeah.
I was kind of like okay with the end because it was like the end. It had to go somewhere. I was either thinking maybe Justin Long's character is going to survive and Tess dies, and it's kind of like that. Well, that kind of sucks. Tess was actually like a genuinely
good person,
nice person.
The bad guy lives on. Yeah,
and
I would
him
like that.
Yeah, that would have been interesting if he actually. I was like, is he actually going to survive this, and he's going to get away? And as he pushes Tess down, and I thought that was silly.
How did she live?
That she fell first, Tess, And then the mother
That's probably what,
then jumped down
50,
after her.
60 feet.
And then the
100
mother
feet
was
max.
under her.
Yeah, that was again.
That was
It's a
very
movie.
unbelievable.
It's like maybe 100 feet tall where they are. You have about, I watched a video, someone did the math. You have about 3 seconds before you hit the ground.
Yeah, there's no
And
way.
she was falling for like 5 seconds before the mother even jumped off. Even then, like, I feel like you still would die from that impact, right?
Yeah, even if that were to happen,
Yeah,
and the mother's underneath, like, I feel like that would not have broke your fall that much.
Yeah, it's just weird. There's a lot of weird stuff. This is a very twisted film. Like, it's very weird.
It's disturbing.
Right. So, anyway, we skipped the gun a lot. Talked about the negative. So I had to, though.
Yeah, I think we had to jump.
It was the characters are just stupid as hell. But maybe that didn't affect the way I enjoyed it. So, anyway, we'll go into our normal stuff. A sound, 9. I thought the sound design was pretty good.
8.
Especially when they're in, like, the caverns. There's some cool sounds going on.
I like the thematic, like, the name of the title, Barbarian. I don't know the music. I listened to the soundtrack.
Yeah.
At first, like, not everything was, like, barbaric or anything like that, but, like, it definitely fit.
Right. And a cool little
like
nod,
that.
Another reason why it's called Barbarian is the street they were on, called Barbary.
Oh,
Street.
Barbary.
So it's like, a little tie in there. But I don't know, all the themes go back to like barbarian mentality.
And the inbreeding.
Many 40 years of inbreeding.
Really though? 40 years? Was that really?
That guy was there for like 40 years.
Yeah, but that really? How many people did he like capture?
A lot
of women.
And that's another thing. Where are they? And you're telling me over all these 40 years, only one survived, but where are like their bones? You would think they would show like remnants.
Probably.
It's little things. I'm tearing this apart, but I really did enjoy it. It's a good movie. The music, 8 out of 10. It was good.
Yeah.
Especially when they cold cut to Justin Long's character, just blaring out that song in the car.
It makes sense. He's so carefree. He's so oblivious to anything around him.
Yeah. All he cares about is his image.
The only thing he actually noticed was the Tess and Keith's belongings still there.
Yeah,
it was the only thing he really noticed.
This place, like,
and then he starts going down with the measuring tape. Oh, I can get this much square footage.
He's not concerned at all about what he sees. He's just like, ooh, money, square footage. He goes back up and searches. Does basements count this? And he's like, nah, they don't count. And then he goes to another way. They may count.
They may.
And I don't know what kind of measurements he's taking because those are not accurate. I don't know what he's doing.
I can just imagine him surviving, and then he actually does try to like sell the house. And he's like, "I got all the measurements right here." And they're like, "These are the..."
Like a post-credit scene where he's alive, or like he was like somehow buried, and at the end it shows him like, crawling out, and he's still measuring. I don't know. Only he can make that weird, that scene work.
Yeah,
only
I know. There's something about Justin Long. I think he's
just goofy.
Very goofy, but he does it really well with his characters. Like, no matter...
Your mic's upside down.
Oh my god!
God. We gotta restart. Imagine.
Alright, back to the beginning.
Yeah, no, they wanted Zac Efron. That was who he really wanted. There was scheduling issues.
Really?
And, like, he wanted a big, tough guy. He didn't want a skinny, like, lanky guy.
As Justin Long?
Yeah, he wanted a tougher guy in that role.
No, I see.
Yeah, that wouldn't have worked, right?
Like watching the movie, I guess it's biased though when you think about it. When you watch something, you almost picture that person.
Right.
Think of like obviously Chris Evans as Captain America, like
Henry Cavill as Superman.
Like when you think about that, when you watch it, like you almost can't now think of anybody else if they do
a good job. Yeah, it's like nobody else could play that role.
Yeah, like I can't imagine. I mean, that's really the only Captain America live action. So like, but if now you watch Justin Long, he's so good in the role, like that, the way he played the character.
Right.
Thinking of Zac Efron in that role, I'm thinking,
I don't know if it would the same. He has the comedic chops.
Yeah, Zac Efron has been in some comedies, and I think he's pretty decent.
It wouldn't have given the same. It's Justin Long. I mean,
it is Tusk.
Yeah, it's the perfect role. Cinematography is really good.
Yeah,
an 8.
I gave it a 10.
Yeah, it's really good.
The very first scene, the raining scene, and the music, like the
yeah,
and then it goes right into the car, and then it cuts. I was like,
yeah, no, I love the opening 20 minutes. It was about like 20, maybe 25 minutes.
Yeah,
just that whole house scene was so tense and
It
suspenseful.
was.
And like Bill Skarsgård, obviously he's too nice of a guy, which is why it seems like it's off.
Yeah.
But he even just looks. I mean, it's not a hit
He
against
has
him. You
that
just
face.
look weird,
He does have that face.
and it's the Pennywise face.
It is.
I just see Pennywise. Like, did I think he was a bad guy at first?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought
I thought he rigged the whole thing. I thought it was going to be that type of movie.
Yeah.
Like, he rigged it up. But no, he was a good guy. When he died, I'm like,
that he's the one who owns the Airbnb.
Yeah. And because it was weird, too, when he looked up, did like, oh, yeah, I booked it. You have the right address. And he's like, yeah, well, she read the address. And he goes, yeah, that's right. It didn't seem like he really looked it up. I thought he was just agreeing with her. But no, it was great acting him because I believed that he was the bad guy.
Yeah, he plays the awkwardness pretty well as well.
Mhm.
And then like you could feel the tension die down like the further that they talk. I thought that was pretty neat. You could like tell I was like, okay, but like there's still something off. But like he's like, I'm gonna open the bottle in front of you because I'm the guy. He, obviously,
right? Like they're obviously aware of. He knows
the implication.
Yeah,
because of the implications.
He knows that she should not have said yes. I'm staying here. He understands why that could go weird because of the implication of how society works.
Yeah.
So again, it's weird, and she stayed. And then when she woke up in the middle of the night and her door was wide open and she was hearing noises, she doesn't decide to like go and wake him up quickly. Hey, my door's open and something's going on. He creeps up to him. Like, why? No one would act that. I don't want to wake you up. Like, come on. You could have died.
She should have locked the door.
She should have locked the door. And then the hobo guy, how come the first time we see him, again, it's a movie, so they want you to make you think he's like a wacko. But in a real scenario, you wouldn't be yelling, oh, get away from that house, little girl, get away. Like, you would try to say, hey, there's a monster in there. Let's get away from there. Don't scare the hell out of her. Make her go in there. And then once she gets inside, he gives up and just walks away. Like, he knows what's in there.
I think he probably did stay a bit
He
just to
knows
see
what's in there.
if she was still in. Like he probably was like trying to look through the windows, but then he probably gave up after.
Maybe, but
every
like
time he didn't. He knows what on, so he wasn't going to stay too close to that house because I mean she apparently roams the neighborhood at night sometimes, so she knows how to unlock doors, and the mother's pretty like smart but dumb. She's a little intelligent. She's not too dumb. She's not super, but she knows her way around. Yeah, like she can get around. I think
she
it's just
clearly
instinct.
knows. Yeah,
it's not like extreme high intelligence, but it's enough that like she's not like completely dumb.
Acting all around, thought was great. I gave it a 9.
Yeah,
everybody did a great job.
I give it a 10. I liked all the characters.
I knocked it down 1 point just because at sometimes I just can't take Justin Long serious. Like I know he's funny in that role, but it's almost too funny to where it's a little too good. It's a 9. It's a 9. You know, it's just that little.
Too good.
It's
he's
that
too
little
good at being funny.
Like it's just him. He's not but maybe that is. I don't know. It was at some parts. It's like, is he really a good actor or is he just really funny?
Well, the thing is,
you know.
All right, say you're watching, you see, oh, there's a movie Barbarian, and you notice the name Justin Long. Like you're probably like, okay, Justin Long. That kind of makes you want to watch the movie because you know.
It did, yeah.
So like
just because he's funny and everything he's in, but
so you kind of know what to expect,
right? Maybe he's really funny, but does that make him is he a good actor in those roles? I think he's a good actor, but he's not like really good.
You're talking about like range.
Yeah, and like
I'm fine with people not having like extreme ranges. I mean, a lot of times people, if they want to, like they can be like Oscar worthy. Like I'm gonna say nobody's not Oscar worthy, but like there's some characters, some actors who kind of are fine with being typecasted. Right. They kind of like sticking to one thing because they are pretty good at it. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some actors who want to be able to do everything and just do that, but I think it's fine that Justin Long, he might not have like extreme range, but he's really good at the characters.
He is good at what he does. Especially Tess, that actress. She was really good at acting scared, I thought. And that's kind of hard to do. You could genuinely tell she was like scared. I was like,
what the hell is actually going to go on?
The way she was yelling out Keith's name, like the stuttering in her voice, like she did a great job with acting. But her acting doesn't follow her character's acting because she would not have went down in that camp. She would have got the fuck out of there. She doesn't know who this guy is. You don't fall for someone in the first 5 minutes. when you're like, oh, he's a little weird, and then you.
They fell for each other.
Yeah, whatever. The plot, I kind of threw all of the character issues into the plot because they are what make the plot drive forward. So I gave the plot a 6 because of the inconsistencies with the characters, in my opinion. So I gave it a 6.
I still gave it a 9.
I like the overall unique original story.
Yeah.
But the characters who drive the plot are kind of a hit or miss. That's why I give it.
I liked all the twists and turns, the way that the fake out of like, obviously you think it's probably Keith.
Right.
And then you're like, okay, it's not Keith. Then we're introduced to Justin Long's character. And
he can't be a bad guy because he's a goofball.
Yeah, so you're like, okay.
And then you find out he's an offender. And at first I was like, no way. I thought it was like they were putting they were faking it. I thought she was just trying to get like clout or something.
Well, that was the hint, like that. There's an inkling of the way that Justin Long was like reacting. I was like, maybe I'll give him one little benefit of the doubt. And then the more and more he talked, I'm like,
and at the bar,
and then obviously when he sits in the bar,
he admitted it.
And then at the bar, it was completely obvious.
He was like, it just took a little bit of convincing. I was like, okay, so you did it, okay.
So that at that point, I was like, this guy's not a good guy.
Yeah. And then from there on out, it's just he just cares about his image and let him liquidate from his Airbnb.
I like the fact that the cops.
Oh my god, they were useless as shit. Why?
This is Michigan. This is Detroit.
Is that how it is?
I mean, Detroit is not a really good area.
Like, are they like?
As far as I was concerned,
was that a race thing?
Could have been.
Or is that just how they are? Like, they don't care because they hear about everything. Like, everything's bad there. Because like she's like, I've literally been kidnapped. And they're like, all right, whatever.
They just thought she was a crackhead. That's pretty much it. Because they were probably, I think they're just used to the area, like the homeless guy.
But like,
I don't think the homeless guy's a crackhead. He's just homeless.
Right. No, I mean, like, you're a cop. Come on.
But have we?
Come on. They know it's a bad area, so clearly something had to have happened.
But unfortunately, she couldn't prove that she can open the door.
Oh yeah, because it was locked.
Yeah.
Why is there only one key to this place?
This is an Airbnb.
But one key? That's dumb.
Because
what if you
usually people don't get double booked.
I'm just saying. What if you lose the key by accident? You're just completely fucked.
To be fair,
I actually one in the house, one outside. Stupid.
I actually kind of want to know, like, they can never get a hold of like the person who hosts the Airbnb. I'm confused.
She should have called again in the morning, but she never called again.
Well, the thing is,
why wouldn't she call again?
Well, Justin Long's called the people, I'm pretty sure, who own the Airbnb, because I'm assuming they rent it out, but he owns the property. But I'm confused because he was talking to them over the phone, and then they were like, "Oh, they checked out." I was like, "Well, how would you even know that they checked out? Isn't there like
because no one contacted?
I would assume,
or maybe it was for a set stay, and then they just assume. Because I don't think you have to like manually hit check out. It's just like a hotel. You just.
I haven't stayed at an Airbnb, but I would assume that would be a good thing to have, like the person physically presses a button saying, I did check out, just to get a good notification.
Correct us if we're wrong, but I don't know. We've never done it. But yeah, how would they? We never saw them call them successfully, so how would they know? You know? I don't know.
But I don't know how you can confidently say, oh yeah, they checked out. Like, did you give them a call?
Yeah.
Did you be like, how was your stay?
Right.
Like...
And you like wouldn't have been like, oh yeah, well no, I guess they wouldn't care if they double booked.
Someone must have to check the area, like the house, and clean it up. Maybe that's one of the unrealistic things.
And it was a whole week too.
Yeah, I think this is one of the unrealistic parts of the movie, where there's no way that one little house has stayed like that, with all the other surrounding houses being so destroyed and messed up.
It's a nice house.
Yeah, I don't think that there's no way that house could have just been kept there. I don't think it would have been.
Yeah, you would think people would just, in that area, the way the whole town looked, someone would have just graffitied or just trashed it. Yeah, he's got a point. But I did like the shot, because in the beginning, you didn't see how much of a wreck that was until the morning.
I like that
And I was like, oh shit, this place is fucked up.
Going back to the cinematography, I think they did like the dark shots really well. I don't think it was like too dark where like you couldn't see anything that's happening.
But
and then that
the reveal,
I was like, oh, you definitely could not have seen that at night.
Yeah, because at first he was like, have you seen the neighborhood? I'm like, we actually haven't. But I don't know what he's talking about.
And that's why Keith's character also becomes a little suspicious, because it doesn't seem like he's phased. Because like I feel like that'd be pretty weird. You're like, oh, this is not looking like a good area at all. And then there's this one house that looks perfect.
Right, and who would stay in a house when the neighborhood's like that?
Exactly.
Even when in the morning, I'd be like, I'm getting the hell out of here.
I would have.
I can't. Back to it. The writing, I thought it was good. 8.
I gave it a
The
9.
writing. Writing's very good. I thought
The chemistry between Keith and Tess before, like, at first it was like you could tell they were standoffish.
Right.
And then the tension goes away.
they got comfortable, yeah. Even with the short amount of time they have with Justin Long, like, I think he just connects with everybody.
Yeah.
He's Justin Long. It's great. I thought it was well paced. A lot of people think it's slow. I thought it was
fine.
I thought it was fine. I gave it an 8.
I gave it a 9. I didn't think. I thought maybe, like, to some people, it could have been like Tess, like you cut after Tess gets chased,
right,
and then you're back to Justin Long's character, and then it kind of builds up again. Maybe
that's where like the tonal shift. It's a jarring tonal shift.
I didn't think it was too bad at that tonal shift. The only tonal shift I didn't like was like very, very end. I was like, at least, like, I feel like it was kind of dragging on towards that.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, you gotta end it, because she escapes
like 3 times, and she keeps going back.
And then she's like going back for Justin Long's character. He gets the gun. I'm like, he's definitely gonna shoot her. That was one of the things I wasn't surprised about. Mm-hmm. She goes back. She gets shot. I was like, this is how she dies.
Yeah. I was like, and then he dropped the gun.
Yeah, but I was like, damn, he really shot her. And then that's definitely unbelievable. Like her getting shot, going up to the tower, then being pushed, and surviving all of that. I don't believe that.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "No, you're not."
Hey, he is sorry. He's not
inherently bad. It's just in the moment he does these things.
Pretty much. Anytime he has any action he could do good, he does the opposite.
Yeah.
Because he thought Frank was held captive, so he was gonna try to save him, and he shot himself. And but like anytime he's faced with anything good, he's like, "This was the only way. I had to push you off. You understand?"
Yeah. No, it's not. You chose to go up there. It's like you planned this whole thing out. Character development 4. We already talked about this. For me, at least, I think there's no development really at all. The characters are kind of flat. They acted well, but their journey through was just stupid as hell. I don't know why she didn't smart up and just get out of there and leave. She doesn't owe any of these people. Even when Keith, like, the job she's interviewing for, he's like the head of the circus thing.
The band. That I think was a band.
Yeah, that she's doing a piece on. That goes nowhere. That's like, what a coincidence, but to do nothing with it. That's kind of weird.
I think it was just to
ease the moment.
I think it was to kind of make the character, again, with trying to make Keith be suspicious, because like, all right, that's way too much of a coincidence.
Right.
2 people booked at an Airbnb. They're both kind of pretty much almost the same, like, not the same job, but like she's doing a piece. Like that's a big coincidence.
It's huge to not go anywhere with it though. And like, again, it's not the main story, but a big part of this, the setup, was her getting a job interview, and that goes nowhere. You don't even get to see like the interview process. Like, such a big moment in the beginning. I was just kind of like, I don't know.
I think it was just meant to be there. I don't think it was supposed to be like a big.
But it was just there just to explain why she's here, and that's kind of lazy.
I don't see it that way.
Like, just giving it an excuse.
It's not important. That's not the important piece. It's not important. She just says.
But they spent a lot of time on it.
She just says why she's there. Keith says why he's there. It's supposed to give like a weird coincidence that she's there, kind of on a piece about the band or whatever, and it's kind of weird that they both ended up in this situation. So, I think that was just for that. I don't think it was.
I mean, it could have been
purposely, like they didn't know what to do with it. I think that was just for its purpose.
No, I didn't know. I didn't think they didn't know what to do with it. I thought, in my head, it was kind of like, oh, we need a reason why she's here. Oh, let's just have her here for a job interview, but spend so much time on it to have it go nowhere, to not be part of like the main.
Like Keith and Tessa talked.
Yeah, they talked for like 10 whole minutes of how it was a big coincidence, and then it's just, all right, whatever. Her job is useless now. It doesn't mean anything. Like, they spent a lot of time around that subject for it to go nowhere. Like, does that kind of make sense?
I get it,
and I know you need reasons for people to be in place, but I think to some degree it should have to tie into the story to some degree, because it didn't push the plot. It didn't go anywhere, because the whole first 20 minutes was kind of just a cold open of nothing, right? It's just like setup.
I think
that's where I
see where you're coming from. Where you talk about it so much, and it doesn't have anything to
Right.
do with the plot. The last thing that we hear about the job interview is when she calls, and she tells them where you're staying, or she's about to leave, where she's staying, and then she's like, "Oh, you should definitely not be staying there around that area. That's not a good area."
Right.
And then that was that.
And still, she stays.
Well, I think she was about. I think she was gonna go. She was gonna leave right after that.
Yeah, but then Keith showed back up and got stuck in the basement.
Well, no, she got stuck in the basement and had to wait for Keith to show up, and then
she went back down there.
Then she found the room, and then the further room, and then she's like, "Okay, Keith's here," and then she wanted to tell Keith because she believes Keith's a good guy, and at this point, we were like, "Okay, he was gone for so long, and he's just kind of still a little suspicious,
right?"
And
he's not phased.
He's not phased,
but it makes sense why he's not phased because all she said was, "There's a room with a camera, a bucket, and a bed." That's all she said. That wouldn't faze anybody. She didn't explain how like eerie and wrong it is. You know, she didn't do a good job explaining why it's creepy.
Yeah, he had. In his mind, he had to see for himself because that's the way she explained it.
Because he thought it was like a janitor's closet, probably.
Yeah, right? I think she should have been
catacombs.
I would have been like, there's like. It's literally like a blank slate of a wall with a string that you open the door with, and it leads. If she would have said it like that, I think it would have been like, okay, let's not check.
Yeah, don't even check it. Get out of there.
Get out.
But we need the movie. Ending, I gave a 6. You know, it's above average.
7.
It didn't ruin the movie for me. Like that wasn't the biggest issue I have. It's a 6. It wasn't great. It's probably one of the weaker parts of the film. It kind of just like happened, and then just all the stuff with Justin, like his actions, how it ended. I'm like, it's a little wacky here, but overall, I had a great time with it. Like, I gave it an 8 for enjoyment. Like, I really enjoyed it.
I still gave it a 10.
Like, past the issues, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. The plot twists are great. You don't see them coming.
We didn't even talk about the breastfeeding.
Yeah, my lord. Yeah, the whole main story that this guy Frank, he literally scopes out his neighborhood and like captures women, and it's a great like setup. He pretends to be like the electrician or the water guy,
plumber.
Yeah, the plumber.
Yeah,
he gets in their house, he opens a window and goes, "All right, we're good, we're leaving," so he can
and
get
that
in there
worked.
later.
And I'm sure that was just the time that
Right.
would have like, "Oh, I'm here for the plumber," and he's just some random dude, and he unlocks it. It's disturbing to think about.
And then he obviously does. It's kind of like Don't Breathe, with like, in a way, he captures women, tries to like impregnate them, but it's a whole 40 years of just inbreeding, like after the. And apparently only one survived and became this amalgamation monk, right? Who's so far gone, and there's like a TV down there that replays just like a breastfeeding, like how to do it. So she's like, "Oh, that's all she knows, and that's all like she wants to do, is just care for somebody," right?
And I'm gonna say, I have a little bit of sympathy for the mother because she's
she didn't ask for that.
She's only doing whatever instinct thing, messed up thing that happened. And at the end, she notices Tess's wound, and she's like, kind of like caring for her. And then he doesn't even mind maybe she doesn't even know what a gun is.
Probably not.
And
she like accepted
being
it, though.
Yeah, so I don't know.
She like accepted. All right, I'm gonna die now. You thought she would have freaked out.
Maybe she just didn't know what it was. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah. So yeah, Frank, bad guy. Kind of surprised he was still alive. Like, what's he feeding on? What's he eating? What's he doing? He looks like he was literally on his deathbed. Like, how is he getting around?
Breastfeeding. Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, poor Justin Long. Every movie he's in, there's something weird's going on.
Yeah.
He turned into a walrus. You know, his girlfriend's getting tormented and being dragged to hell. He's sucking on old monster teats. You know,
poor Justin Long.
He
asked for it,
but he picks these roles. He doesn't pick them, but he accepts them. So, hey,
honestly, if I got the chance to do like some weird movie, it's not like way too weird.
Right.
I'd probably do it.
There's weirder stuff out. Yeah, it's a good movie. I really recommend it. Yeah, I think we covered a lot of the stuff in the plot. Oh, and one of the most predictable.
I mean, at this point, everyone who's watching now probably should have watched it. So I don't think it's too necessary to go like beat for beat for what the story is.
Again, one of the like super predictable scene, and it was set up that way, was when the hobo like how come she hasn't gotten you yet?
Oh
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I've been here for 15 years. And she ain't never messed with me.
As
And
soon
then
as he
that's
said that-
second. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, you're going to die. And I was like, it's one of those just.
It's not
set up
completely
predictable
unpredictable, but for the most part, there's a lot of unpredictable, and I think that's like definitely one of the main pros. I liked all the characters, even despite some of their mistakes. I'm fine with.
I like the characters, but I wish. And again, there's dumb characters in all these movies, but they were repeatedly dumb. It was like it's hard to believe.
I think they didn't learn from their mistakes. I could understand.
And you
that.
thought if I was in that scenario and I saw a string in the door, I wouldn't even go in there. I'd get the hell out of there and leave.
You probably
Why would I investigate?
You might underestimate your impulse to like see what.
I choose.
You never
life.
know. You've never been put in that situation.
All right, maybe I would go in the first room.
Yeah.
But when I saw the stairs, I would not go down there.
Yeah. That at that point, I think there's
down there.
Like you're probably gonna have some impulse to be like, okay, what is actually really going on?
Yeah.
Because say like, what are you gonna do? Because if you just say that there's a string in the wall, and then you go to the cops and you say there's a string in the wall,
like, all right, whatever. I would just go home.
But if you're like, there was a string in the wall, I walked in, and explain it like that. But if you go in, you see the one room, and then you see the stairs leading out. At that point, yeah, I'm not going further down than that.
Right. Crazy. And after I saw Keith get his head blown up, like smashed into the wall, I'm never going back. I don't care who's down there. I'm not going back. I'm not.
Well, why did the mother kill him though?
He didn't want to be a baby. I don't know. He was just kind of there just to show the danger that's down. By the way, that scene of the reveal for that thing, she's just like humongous, just like barely fitting and just running. That's scary as hell. Yeah, I don't know why she instantly killed Keith, but not Justin Long. Again, plot armor and stuff like that, but yeah, why? Maybe like, Keith didn't have.
Because Justin Long did struggle a bit.
Yeah,
she didn't go straight away to like bashing his head in.
But yeah, that's our review.
That is our review
for Barbarian. I recommend it. I think Nick does too.
If you like unpredictable and you like kind of like weird plots,
and it's
kind of gross, disturbing,
it's brutal,
and you're messed up.
Yeah, if you like, I mean, great, Justin Long, Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah,
and she's somebody.
Her name is Georgina Campbell.
She's in something. I recognize her. I don't know what, but they all did a fantastic job. Yeah, go watch this film. Great. After you watch it, tell us what you thought of it.
I had a poll. It was kind of like, if you like it, kind of in the middle, didn't like it at all. I'd say it was like 50. It was like 51% and then 40% in the middle. So it was like kind of like 50-50. That most people really enjoyed it, or they just thought it was like
okay. Yeah. Okay. Somebody said it was good, but it wasn't a really great movie. But it was good.
But it wasn't like dog shit.
The ending was where most people have the issue.
Pretty much.
That's where people's biggest issues are.
And I could see the issue, but I still enjoyed pretty much the movie all the way through. Yeah. And I actually do want to say this. I got really pissed off. I told you this about Google and AI.
About what?
About the sequel to this.
Oh, yeah.
So
Google says there's a sequel.
Yeah. Google AI was telling me that there was a sequel for Barbarian. There's a Barbarian 2. And that there's a trailer for it. I go click on it, and it brings me to a YouTube channel. And it's one of those concept trailers.
Yeah.
But this time, not in the title description, it was literally posing as saying that this was 100% a sequel to the movie. And AI was like, yeah, this is the sequel, and like directed, like, this is so misleading.
Shame on you, AI.
I hate this.
Do better.
All these stupid concept trailers to make you think and click on it. Oh, it's a new sequel to a movie.
Yeah.
It's not just for this movie that I've seen.
Yeah.
That pissed me off. So be wary of things you click on thinking that it's an actual sequel. And shame on you, AI, for just believing it.
Yeah. Well,
this is why AI sucks.
It is. It's deceiving. Yeah. There's a little rant there.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about weapons.
Weapons? What
Zach
kind of weapons?
Kreger's next movie coming out very soon. Now, when I first heard a few episodes ago, it was revealed that this movie was going to be fun and a bit silly. Now it makes sense. Based on this movie, of his directing style, now I know...
Justin Long makes a cameo.
Yeah. Now I kind of know what to expect. Where I can understand where this fun tone's going to come from because of what he did in this movie. So that makes sense now. So We don't know a lot about weapons. What we do know is we have Thanos himself, Josh Brolin. He's in.
Josh Brolin.
He's playing Archer Graff. He's a dad who his son Matthew vanished.
We put this in the middle because
We can.
up.
Julia Garner is in this as Justine Andy.
And she was in Wolfman.
Yeah, Crash. She's also the Silver Surfer. She's the teacher of all the children that go missing. We have Alden Ehrenreich. I don't know how to pronounce that, but he's Paul.
I think you probably pronounced it right. That
Probably.
doesn't seem too bad.
He's a police officer who's tied to Justine. And then we have a bunch of other cast members. We got Benedict Wong. He's in this.
Benedict Wong.
Yeah. So basically, the premise of this movie is exactly at 2:17 a.m. All the kids in Justine's class, except one,
Oh, except one.
yes, they go outside and they go missing.
So it's
Crazy. They just go
217
vanish.
and 17 children. I wonder if that's connected at all. Or
Oh, it could be.
mean-
So the sequels, they leave it to 18. So, this is a completely unique story. It's brand new, just like Barbarian. So it's not like an adaptation. Completely unique.
definitely inspired by the Pied Piper.
Oh yeah,
Right,
there's
no,
definitely
for sure.
inspiration stuff.
But for the most part, yeah, I don't think,
This isn't a
as far
book.
as I know.
It's not a book. It's not. So this is described as an epic, like a big scaled film. So it's going to be bigger than Barbarian. He said it's bigger in scale than that, like story wise and stuff.
It's going to be a trilogy.
Right, because Barbarian it's a contained film. It's pretty small.
It is.
So that's cool. And then the tone of it, they describe it as a weird, twisty, bigger spiritual successor to Barbarian.
So they're going to go even crazier.
So yeah, it's gonna get pretty wild, like spiritual. So they're gonna mix horror and comedic tones with surreal elements to make it fun yet really fucked up.
That's
Quote.
so far from the trailer. I don't feel any of the comedy, like the comedy.
Yeah, no fun. So that's probably gonna be jarring when the movie comes out.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I think they
You
got to put
should-
a little bit of comedy in the trailer because not everybody likes comedy. Some people, when they watch the horror movie, they don't really want, like, there's always going to be some humor to like lighten the mood, but like
If you're not
the way that this
yeah.
is being told makes me seem like it's going to be like how Justin Long's character
Yeah.
would be. There's going to be a little bit more comedy than you would expect,
and if
but
you're
not
not,
like a spook.
and if you're not expecting it, because the trailers don't show it, it's like, where did this come from?
Yeah, it's really creepy. The trailer, all the trailers, creepy, mysterious. It doesn't give off anything that there's like this type of fun.
Right.
We'll see what that fun means.
And apparently there's a teaser website that drops little teasers called maybrookmissing.com. So they've been dropping Easter eggs that have little nods to Barbarian.
So this is a universe, I guess.
Could be a cracked, shared, loose universe, or it's just not. Like,
Okay.
hey, remember this film I made? Good, same director. But I could totally see them doing some kind of universe.
He makes
creating-
his own monster universe.
They're all original, so
Imagine.
you can connect these. But yeah, it could either be paying homage, or they're actually loosely connected to like a shattered, shared universe.
I like when they do this with like websites.
Yeah.
Really nice to be able to
We'll later.
look at.
So yeah, Zach Kreger's kind of vision and what the fans are saying and everything. So Thomas Anderson's Magnolia was a creative benchmark for this. I don't know what that is. I think we got to do some research on that. But he took a lot of inspiration from this, aiming for the scale and the emotional depth, which is where the big epic word comes from. Bigger than Barbarian. It's a bigger, weirder, and twistier.
How do you get weirder than breastfeed?
Want to know?
I do want to know because I'm gonna watch the movie.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of humor. It's going to be fun and inviting, despite the very disturbing subject matter. Yeah. So it mentions here again that the Missing Maybrook News, that website, they have a lot of teasers and little hints. So if you haven't checked that out, go over there to get a little bit of more information. This comes out August 8th, and it'll be in IMAX.
All right.
And all the trailers so far look like it was kind of on the scale of like 28 Years Later trailer. They don't show you a lot. They're really well made.
Yeah.
Gives you a little tease. It's very eerie. It's very unsettling.
But
so-
unlike, I mean, we talked about it in our last episode with 28 Years Later's trailer, and some of the tones
Right.
didn't add up. So hopefully, I'm assuming it's not probably going to add up for this.
Right, I'm sure it's going to be a bit of a difference. You're not good. The movie's going to be not where you expected to see.
I mean, yeah, the trailer's supposed to get people in the theaters
Right.
hyped up. So I can understand a little bit that they might try to be a little deceiving, or they have a vision for the trailer. I mean, trailers look nice.
Right.
You don't want to spoil. You want to try not to spoil stuff for the trailers. There's Bucky.
That Bucky? Stupid. Yeah. I mean, this, now that 28 years later comes out, this is probably next on the list that jumped a lot of movies for, like, very anticipated. Because everything I'm reading about it,
one of my most anticipated
looks
this year.
Very good. So that'll end the summer. Hopefully it'll be a hit. Got a great cast. Whacked up story. The story's so good. Like I mentioned before, Jordan Peele fired his whole marketing team. Crazy. Like
that must suck, though. That must suck for the marketing team. Like,
it's like
we tried.
Really, yeah, like you can't really help that.
I think he's a bit of a douche for doing that.
He is. It's
like, why didn't you try?
Yeah, you get out.
You're the director, right? If you wanted to direct this, just like have somebody else do that.
Right.
Shame on you, Jordan Peele. Sorry, Jordan Peele. I love your comedy, Key and Peele.
Keegan's your better half.
And your horror, the way you do horror, is pretty good, but
this was low.
A little low.
Low. Yeah. There's some stuff. What do you think Weapons, the greater story, will be about? Do you like that they're going, again, that Kreger is doing a more fun, inviting, humorous tone
Are you
with
even
the
excited?
disturbing subject matter? And I think to a degree that kind of works. If your movie is so disturbing and gross, the humor, it is a good balanced tone to lighten up. You know?
It is.
Like, if it's so gross.
Humor is subjective.
It is.
And it's hard to please everybody in humor. The humor has to be done just right.
This is true. Yeah, I mean, and he did it right. I like the humor in Barbarian. I didn't have a problem with it. It felt weird, but I did laugh at it, and it was hilarious. The way he did it, you know. It wasn't like jokes. It was situational with Justin Long's character. That
specifically
he only cares about his image.
And he's so unaware of anything.
It was as funny. He wasn't intentionally being funny, which is what made it funny.
And it's weird. His character, you almost kind of, when he points something out, he's like, there's people still living here? It almost seemed like he was just genuinely like, oh, I'm invading these places.
Yeah.
But then he goes, like...
He was kind of upset that they trashed the place.
Yeah.
And like, they didn't clean up. And again, when he goes in the basement, he's like, he only sees money signs. He doesn't see like, this is a whacked up death room.
Yeah, he opens the door, he goes,
camera.
Oh my God. And then when they cut to him,
looking
how the space.
Does the square footage count for
that was
the money? It was really funny.
So if the humor is anything like that, hopefully,
but nobody in this
cast will be good.
Has known for funny roles.
True.
That's kind of a thing. And Josh Brolin to a degree.
Just Deadpool. Wong. I would say
Wong and Josh Brolin just because of Deadpool 2.
Josh Brolin can definitely do like.
He's kind of like
serious,
like you were saying to me the other day. He's like a Liam Neeson stoic funny guy. He can pull off, I think.
As one of Josh Brolin's, he vanishes, and so Josh Brolin's character is the dad. So I wouldn't assume that he would be any bit like the comedy.
Yeah, probably not.
Just because his son is involved.
It'd be one of the supporting guys.
Teacher, probably not.
It would be one of these guys.
Yeah, I think so. The one surviving student, I don't know. No. We'll see how the humor goes.
We'll see. But yeah, that's going to do it for our episode today. Hope you enjoyed.
All right.
Zach Kreger episode dedicated to you.
Yeah, maybe we'll do these types of episodes again where we'll just do like a whole director. This one was Zach Kreger.
We'll do a director rundown.
I guess 28 Years Later was kind of like that because we talked about 28 Weeks Later and Danny Boyle did it. We did 28. We kind of talked a bit about 28 Days Later. So that'd be nice.
Yeah, let us know if you like this. We can delve more into a director type episode. Talk about their filmography.
Like John Carpenter.
He's got a lot of do.
I don't even have any. I've never seen any like his new stuff.
He hasn't done anything in forever.
Yeah, but I mean like more recent. Like when you think of John Carpenter, you think of Halloween, The Thing.
He did a lot, but nothing recent. He did like a TV show episode recently. I don't know. We'll play with the idea. Yeah, we'll toy with it. We'll stew on it. So, yeah, that'll do it. We hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, follow us on all of our socials. Don't forget about the giveaway. So we got a week left, one more week to enter, and then it's going to end.
Chance, 3 people for a chance to win one of these.
Yeah, one of these. They're sick.
We just got a letter.
Wonder who it's from. We're going to Comic-Con.
He's going to be there.
So if you're going to
be Blues Club.
If you're going to be at New York Comic Con, let us know. we might run into you. So we're going. So
Yeah, let us know.
let us know. We'll do something. And then, yeah.
We would love to be able to talk to you guys, talk about anything.
Anything.
Maybe do
Anything
what we did
pop
last
culture.
time at Monster Mania, kind of do little trivia, fun things.
We're a horror podcast, but we like all pop culture.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hope you enjoyed.
Hope you didn't. No, I'm kidding.
If you didn't, leave a dislike. But we'll see you next time.
All right, see you.